What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the top 5 NFL route runners. Guys, please leave in the comments who's in your top 5 and who you think is the best route runner in the league. So we're going to get started. Number 1 on my list is Julio Jones, okay? He's going to be at the top of your screen here. He's going to be running a 20-yard out, and he's going to get in and out of this thing so fast. I want you to see how difficult this route is. Let's watch this thing full speed, then we'll break it down. So he's bursting upfield, 1, 2, 3. In and out of this break, full speed, 20 yards downfield. That's incredibly difficult to do. Most guys have trouble running this route at about 10 yards, okay? He's coming off. Most guys have trouble running this route right here, okay? But he pushes up 10 more yards, and he never breaks this fade. He's always selling vertical, and he's closing the distance with this DB, okay? That's one of the main keys to route running, guys. We got to be able to push vertical and sell like we're just going 100 miles an hour trying to run past this DB every single route, whether it's a slant, whether it's an out, whether it's a comeback, a dig, whatever it might be. We got to be pushing vertical every single time. Now, he doesn't ever give an indicator on his route. That's why this is so difficult. A lot of guys, when they get further downfield, they start to bring this chest up and they start to slow down, right? He never breaks this pad level. He always sells vertical. It's like being a good salesman. You never want to break that pitch, right? So he's coming out, drops right now, sinks his hips. Now, we call this a snap down, okay? When you snap down with this outside leg, it's almost like 3 steps you want to get in and out of this break. It's better than a lot of people saying, oh, yeah, I want to beat the drum at the top. That's when you go fast feet and you go fast hands, okay? That's not what we want here. We want to get out of this thing least amount of steps possible, right? So what is this DB doing? He's turning and running because he does a great job of selling vertical. That's what we got to be able to do, right? So he drops down right now, drops his weight. Now, the main thing about being able to change direction at the top of the route, you got to have explosive and violent hips, and you got to drop your chin to your knee, okay? That's how you get in an explosive position, and that's exactly what he's in right now. Now, second, third step, in and out of it on 3 steps. Now, that second step of your snap down has to angle your feet back down the direction you want to go. So let's say he was running a comeback. He'd want to angle his foot at this almost 45-degree angle, but he's just running an out right now, so he can angle it on this 90-degree. And then that third step is what's driving him out of this break, so he can accelerate out of this break and get to this sideline and continue to get more separation from this DB. Now, this DB doesn't play it bad. He speed turns actually pretty well out of there. But the inches at this high of a level are super important. So he's driving out of this thing, pumping those arms, accelerating out of the break. Matt Ryan gives him a good ball on time, and that's all the separation we need when you got a great receiver like Julio Jones. It's a great job utilizing this out route, selling vertical, guys. That's a great trait all route runners have in common. So let's watch this thing full speed, then we'll get to the next one. So he's bursting up here. 1, 2, 3. In and out of this route, selling vertical, gets that DB thing. So now, number 4 on this list is Keenan Allen, okay? He's my number 4 wide receiver, top route runner. He's having a little bit shaky of a year this year, but I want you to see how talented he is at the top of the route. So we're going to watch this thing full speed. He's also going to be working an out route, and then we're going to break it down. So it's coming out, 1, 2. Burst upfield, peek back technique, sudden stick. Let's get on this out and let's burst upfield. So, main thing I want to talk about here, we're going to talk about the release. The keys that I think go into route running are your release off the line of scrimmage, how well you run the stem of the route, and what you can do at the top of the route and how you can accelerate out of the break to get some separation. That's what goes into being a good route runner for me, okay? So he's going to be coming off the line. He's going to be working a hesitation release. He's off the ball, so he's got a little bit of space to work. This guy's not going to be jamming him, but he's going to try to press, right? So he takes this little hesitation to see how he's going to play. DB stays strong in a good base. Probably going to try to get hands on him, right? So Keenan Allen goes hesitation, and then he goes in, back, out move. So hesitation, in with the right leg. He wants to take an inside release, so that's the step he wants to go first. So in with the right leg, outside with the left. Now, the main thing with great receivers on releases, guys, is they always have their feet underneath them in this explosive position, and they're violent with their head and shoulders, okay? That's what gets you separation, when you're fast with your head and your shoulders. So he comes out, 1, 2. You see how much he moves those head and shoulders, gets this DB to sit inside, which gives him the inside release. Now, another thing is he has a plan for his hands. He's chopping this guy's hands off, and he dips this this outside shoulder. See his left shoulder right here? He dips this to avoid the contact from this DB and doesn't allow him to recover. That's a great job by Keenan Allen taking this inside release. Now what does he do? He gets back on top, and he's selling like he's just working a seam right now. He's peeking back to the quarterback. What does that do to this DB? It gets him to undercut this route. It gets him to overcommit to the middle. And then he's able to just drop his weight right now, sudden stick. So we call this a sudden stick right here. Dropping his weight again. What is he doing? Head and shoulders to the inside, explosive hips, hips, and he's driving out of this break. Now, I talked about accelerating out of the break as a key that I think all great route runners have. Right here, he's got separation, but he wants to make sure he keeps this separation, so he's got to be running out of this break. Everything we do, receivers, we got to always be running. We got to run up into the stem of the route. We got to make our break without losing too much speed and accelerate out of the break to continue our separation. That's exactly what he does. You see him running out of this thing full speed. It's a race to this spot. Who's going to get there first? It should be Keenan Allen because he took care of his business at the top of the route and is accelerating out. That's a great job by Keenan Allen. He's my number 4 wide receiver, best route runner. So we're going to watch this thing full speed. This comes out, 1-2, head and shoulder movement, takes the inside release, looks over that shoulder, and then explodes out for a great job. All right, so number 3 on my list is Michael Thomas, okay? So Michael Thomas can't guard Mike, right? He's in the running, in my opinion, for the MVP this year. I mean, I don't think he'll win it, but I think he's definitely in that conversation if he keeps up how he's been playing. Now, this route, this DB plays it pretty well, but I want to talk to you about the intelligence of this route. So we're going to watch this thing full speed, and he has great hands, by the way. That's another thing that route runners, you can't run great routes and not have good hands. You got to finish the play. If you have terrible hands, you might as well not even play receiver, right? We got to be able to finish the play. So let's watch this thing full speed. So breaks up, jab to the outside, accelerates over the middle, then catches this ball in traffic. That's a great job by Michael Thomas. So he's bursting upfield. He takes this stem to the inside. Now this DB's got inside leverage. Now the reason why he wants to take this stem to the inside is because he wants to attack the midline of this DB, right? He wants to attack the middle. So he stems it up. And now he's attacking the middle of this DB, attacking his midline. Now what that does is that gets him on these heels and it gets him in this back pedal. So we get him on that back pedal, we give him a move at the top of the route, we're going to get some separation, right? And this comes from reps, this comes from scheme, this comes from a great offensive coordinator and offensive mind in Sean Payton, right? So stick in the ground, attack that midline. Now, he gives this jab to the outside. He gives a here, break down. See how he's running fast hands, fast feet? We call this a square cut. So we got to have fast hands, fast feet at the top to get this DB on his heels. Now, this isn't the break. He's not making a break. See, if you were to go fast hands, fast feet on a dig, like he would just to come right now instead of making this square cut, DB would be all over this thing. But he gives him fast hands, fast feet. See how it gets him on these heels, gets him to open up that gate a little bit. Then he gives a jab to the outside. Head and shoulder movement, not a jab, but a stick to the outside, this square cut selling like he's just running this out right now, but he squares him up, right? If you could square up the DB, attack his midline, get him on his heels, you're going to be able to get some separation. And so he makes that move. He accelerates out. He's pumping those arms, running out of this break. DB plays it well. DB recovers great, but you see balls coming, catches this thing in traffic, has strong grip, great concentration to make this catch the second time around. It's a great job by Michael Thomas. Very intelligent route. Didn't get a crazy amount of separation because the DB was able to come out of this break very well, but you can see what I'm saying. If we don't take care of the business that we need to take care of here, DB's going to be able to make a break and he's going to be all over this route, but we got to be able to finish the route. That's why I think Michael Thomas belongs in this conversation. Great routes, but also great hands, which is what makes him an elite receiver. He's number 3 on my list. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So stems it up, jab to the outside, accelerate out, catch this ball in traffic. Great job by Michael Thomas. Okay, so number 2 on my list is Davante Adams, okay? I think he is so dang talented. When he's healthy, I don't think any receiver really beats him, except for our number 1 receiver that we're going to talk about in a second, but he's going to be working a post corner here. Now, the main thing I want you to see is how he changes his speed in the route. Let's watch this thing full speed. So he comes off, 4th outside step, 3 steps to the post, and then breaks this thing up to this corner. That's a great job by Davante Adams, changing up the speed at the top of his route. So he's going to be going off this 4th outside, right? So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, break into this post. Okay, so now what is he doing here? He gives his eyes to Aaron Rodgers and he commits his shoulders to the post. That is huge. That's exactly what we need to do anytime we want to sell a double move. We got to be great at double moves to be a great route runner. That's why I think he belongs in this conversation. And I'm not even talking about his releases. That's another video. You can look at our previous videos and check out some of his releases, right? But he gives the eyes to the quarterback. This is just his routes, guys, not even his releases off the line, which is what makes him so special. Gives his eyes to the quarterback. Now, what does he do? He slows down here to make it seem like he's not getting his ball. It's all about deception, all about making this DB think you were doing something else and then doing exactly what he was trying to prevent. Now, this DB is going to get greedy and try to undercut this route, play this back hit, make a play over the top. So 1, 2, 3, sudden stick, and he works upfield. You see how this DB has to kick into second gear. We know where we're going. He has no idea. So he's slowing down with us. He thinks we're not getting the ball. Then Davante Adams sticking the ground right here, and he's pushing up. He's pushing off the inside portion of his foot to get up to this corner. No hands on him. DB played this not very well, and then accelerating up, pumping those arms out of the break. DB's playing catch up. Aaron Rodgers puts this ball on a good spot. That's a big game by Davante Adams. That's what I'm talking about, working a post corner off a speed cut. So 4th outside, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 to the post. Now, I can't tell you how many young receivers I see when they go post corner. They'll break down right here. They'll beat the drum. We want it to be a speed cut, guys. We want to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, a post out is a different story. A post out, we can almost snap down and then get out because that's a tougher break, right? But a post corner, it should be 3 hard steps and explode off that inside arch of your leg. Let's watch this thing full speed. Davante Adams, number 2 on my list. Not even talking about his releases right now, just his route running at the top of the route. A great, great receiver. Going to be one of the all-time greats. So he's coming out 1, 2, 3, 4th outside. 1, 2, 3 to the post, sudden stick, burst upfield to this corner, catch this ball over the top. That's a great job. Okay, number 1 on my list is Amari Cooper, guys. I think he is so talented. A lot of people are comparing Jerry Jeudy in college to him, and everybody knows how good his route running is, how explosive he is, and I think Amari Cooper is just that. He's a very explosive receiver. The Cowboys' offense has changed dramatically since he joined the team, since he was traded there. Let's watch this thing full speed, then we'll break it down. So he's running the same thing. He's working a post out now. Okay, so that's very hard to do. We talked about that on that post out. It's almost the same kind of break as the post corner we saw from Davante Adams, but he's working it out now. That's a harder change of direction. It would have been fine if he would have just broken down, but it's a lot of the same thing. So he's going to be breaking off this 3rd outside, so 3. Now he's bursting up to this post. What does he do? Commits his shoulders, gives his eyes to the inside. That's what's going to get this DB to bite. The DB is not just going to let you go run this route, okay? So if we give our eyes, we commit our shoulders, and we have good enough change of direction, we're going to get separation. And that's exactly what he does in this situation. He's going to take it hard for 3 steps. So 1, 2, 3. Now, the main thing I want you to see, look how explosive of a position he's in. Violent head and shoulders to the inside. DB's completely committed to this post, right? In an explosive position with his hips. He's not super tall. He's not exposing his numbers. When I say exposing my numbers, I mean having my chest back. I see a lot of young receivers make that same mistake. So he's coming here, drops his weight, and now what is he doing? He's running out of this break. Every time you come off a break right here, we shouldn't be changing speed. This should be giving us more speed because we're pushing off the inside portion of our foot. He's going to be pumping those arms and accelerating out of this break to continue to gain separation from this DB. Now this DB falls down. He has great hands at the top of his route. As you can see, he has a plan for these hands. It's not just about a release with our hands. Got to have a plan at the top of the route. Try to get these DB's hands off of us. We want to pretend like he's got crap underneath his fingernails, and we don't want him to touch us. Swat him off, accelerate out, snap that head back around, still running back to this ball, catch this thing, then get upfield. Turf got him a little bit there, but I think he got injured on this play, which is fine. Great job working this post out by Amari Cooper. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. It's coming out, 3rd outside, 1, 2, 3, sudden stick, drop those hips, head and shoulder movement to the inside, then catch this ball. That's why he's number 1 on my list of the best receivers, best route runners in the NFL, guys. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Please leave in the comments your top 5 and who you think is the best route runner in the league. I'd really appreciate that, and I'll see you guys next time.